Hello and welcome to a new video. So today's video might be a little bit short because I'm going to tell you the books I have read in the month of July, and I only read 6, same amount as last month, but I didn't hate any of the books I've read this month, but I also didn't love any of them. I didn't have a great reading month. And I hope next month will be better, but you know what, let's just get through all the books I have read in the month of July and let's talk about them. So first up, I finished Into the Blue by Emma Brodie at the beginning of this month, and I ended up giving it a 3 stars. The writing style wasn't for me. I didn't really like the characters, I didn't care for the story, and I really disliked the communication between both the MMC and the FMC. And yeah, I was so happy once it was finished. It was still a 3 stars because I did like aspects of this book. I can't even remember the parts that I did like, but I remember finishing it and I did saw some positive notes on it. And yeah, I think the story sometimes was a bit unique and it was unlike anything I've ever read. But yeah, it is just a love story. I just didn't like it. I wasn't a big fan of the ending either. I was just a bit bored by this book, which is such a shame because I've heard so many amazing things about it, and I normally don't really read this kind of genre. Like, I love like romance, but not without fantasy elements to it. But this one I didn't like it. I just don't think it was for me personally, and yeah, the writing style just felt a bit dragging at some points, and just I don't know. See, it's been already kind of almost a month since I've read it. It's about this girl. She works in this video store and this guy walks in and he's like an actor, and they form a really strong, close bond. And they become great friends, and then they become acting partners, and then the guy suddenly just disappeared without a word. And she has no idea why. No one wants to tell her why he just suddenly left without saying anything. And then 7 years later, she gets cast in this like production, and he got cast as well. And then they're trying to confront the truth of what happened 7 years beforehand. And yeah, there's just like this really devastating secret, and you figure out why he left. And you just kind of see them then going through this journey together. But there's just a lot of miscommunication, and I don't like that. I really just did not like that. Then I read my favorite book of July, which is This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Ilona Andrews. I ended up giving this a 4.25. I enjoyed this a lot. And I liked the characters in it, I loved the story, and I loved everything about it. There was just some things missing. I didn't enjoy it as much as I would want to. Like, I wasn't invested as much as I wanted it to be invested in it. So maybe it was just because I was in a reading slump, and I feel like if I was out of a reading slump, I would have enjoyed this one even better. But still great book, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm really excited to read the second book when it comes out. I don't know when it comes out, but it was my favorite book of the month of July. Just still didn't hit the way I wanted it to hit. This book is about this girl. She goes to sleep in the normal world and she wakes up in like her favorite book series world. But this book series, I'm pretty sure like a trilogy, but only the first 2 books are out. So she knows kind of what happens in these first 2 books. She knows the characters, she knows the story, she knows the world, but she doesn't know how it ends. So in this book, I'm pretty sure we kind of follow more the first book. So she's just kind of trying to, I guess, alter the story a bit to kind of save some people. And yeah, it's kind of giving like Game of Thrones world. So it's not like a whimsical, fun fantasy world. It's a bit darker. And yeah, so she's trying to save these people. She's trying to kind of change stories, and there is a great found family in this as well, like a great group of characters. I absolutely love them together. Small, tiny speck of romance. There's not much romance in this book yet, but we do have some like plot twist in here, and adventure and action, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Just there were parts that I just got a little bit bored or couldn't fully pay attention to it. So I wasn't obsessed with it. And then I continued the series, and it's A Taste of Poison by Sonia Odette. This is the 4th one with an Entangled with Fae series. It's an interconnected standalone series. And yeah, so this is the 4th one, and every single book in this series is a different princess retelling. This is the Snow White retelling. and I ended up giving it a 4 stars. I preferred it over the third one, and I think I liked it just as much as the first one. I didn't like it as much as the second one. The second one is still my favorite, which is Heart of the Raven Prince. But this book was still enjoyable. I loved the twist that Sonia Odette did on Snow White. It added like a murder mystery plot to it. And throughout the book, I was so sure on who the killer was. And I was completely wrong. So that took me by surprise, and I did like that. And I liked the story. I really liked the FMC. I love the FMCs in this series. The MMCs, I liked the second one of the second book. Just the other ones just fall a little bit flat for me. But you know what? I love the FMCs, so that saves it. And like, he was sweet. It's just the romance just wasn't my favorite romance. And yeah, I would say this is definitely more of an upper new adult book. It is kind of spicy. The other books weren't spicy from what I remember. This one is spicy, which I didn't mind, but I didn't also care for the spice in this book. I don't know, I wasn't vibing with it. But it was still fun. I did like the world. I did kind of got bored at some point. I wasn't obsessed with this one either. So this one is a 4 stars, and I only have one more left in this series. I don't know if there's going to be more ones out. But I would really recommend this series if you just want a quick romantasy that has fae in it and it's whimsical, but you're also kind of familiar with the stories because they're all retellings, but it just has a clever twist to all of them. So the FMC is accused of poisoning her father, and she's accusing the queen, so her stepmom, for doing it. So she has to run away and escape. And this FMC has such an interesting magical ability and such a clever way of using, you know, like the mirror in Snow White. They use it in this book, but in such an interesting way. So I thought that was really cool. And then I read another romance book, and it's Heart the Lover by Lily King. I ended up giving this one a 4 stars as well. I preferred it a lot more than Into the Blue. The reason it's not a 5 stars is because I couldn't fully connect to these characters. It's really short, so it only gives you a short amount of time to kind of get to know these characters. I didn't want it any longer either. I just think it's because of the writing style. I am such a character-driven person. I think characters for me is like one of the most important things in books. If I can't connect to the main character, I don't really care what happens in the rest of the story. Sometimes a story can be absolutely amazing, but if I don't care about the main character, I don't care about the story either. So I think that's what kind of happened in this book, but because it was so short, I didn't mind it as much. But like with thrillers, normally I don't really like the main characters, but I still absolutely love those books. There's always something that still hooks me. With this one, I think it was kind of the same. Not like this one was a thriller, but there was just still something in this book that kept me hooked and kept me wanting to finish it and read it. I was kind of a bit bored in the middle of the book, but the beginning and the end I did really enjoy. But there were some things that did bother me as well in the end. I can't really say what was bothering me because I don't want to spoil anything. It's basically about this girl and she meets these guys in college. You kind of see their experience a little bit, and then there's a big time jump. She's all successful, she's happy, she has a family, and then something happens that kind of confront the past a bit. And what I did really like about this book is that it is quite thought-provoking. It does make you think about your own life decisions, and I did in general just like the story. It was a quick, easy read, and I think I just kind of needed that this month. I would definitely still recommend this book. I know a lot of people absolutely love it. I didn't love it, I just liked it. And then one of my more disappointing reads, and that's House of Blight by Maxime M. Martineau. I ended up giving this one a 3 stars. I really enjoyed the first half, and then I was just bored and annoyed and realized that I do not really like this FMC. And yeah, I was really intrigued by the concept. I liked the vibes of it, and then I just started to really dislike it, and I'm not sure if I want to read the second one of this book. I'm just kind of relive this whole situation that they're in this book. But it's basically about a girl who's a thread mender. So she can heal broken bones, diseases, but there is this virus going around called blight. And her brothers get it, and she's not able to save them. She's not able to get rid of the blight. She ends up making this bargain with this family, so with this guy that belongs in this family. And this family, they have very powerful magic, and no one really likes them, and she doesn't like them. But she ends up making this bargain because he can help her out with the brothers. So they make this bargain, and then she kind of has to go and figure out how to save her brothers, and she gets help from this family. But she has to live in their home and be their thread mender. And so there's just a lot of secrets, and there are some plot twists, and yeah, I just thought it was a little bit predictable. And I thought the FMC was just a little bit annoying, and just her decisions. And it's just one of these FMCs that, you know, once you fall in love, you just forget about anything else that's important. And I don't like that. But that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't want to spoil it. I feel like you might enjoy it if you like Phantasma or like One Dark Window. You might like this book. It's definitely kind of dark fantasy. So yeah, if you like one of those books, you can try out House of Blight. Definitely a book I don't hear many people talk about. But yeah, for me, this was a 3 stars. Sadly, it wasn't for me. And then I read another very short book, and it's Elevation by Stephen King. I gave this one a 4 stars. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this one. I actually enjoyed it. Even though it was only 130 pages long, I felt more for these characters than I expected. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it. It was definitely a book that kept me hooked from page 1, and I really wanted to know how it ended. Ending, not my favorite. But if you want a quick read where you can still feel something for these characters and still feel hooked and invested, and has such a unique story, and it's kind of wholesome at the same time, I think you should pick this one up. I really enjoyed it. It's my 3rd Stephen King book that I've read, and yeah, I so far have enjoyed his writing style a lot. I think he has one of my favorite writing styles that I have ever read, and yeah, he's so good at still making you just feel emotional, invested in these characters, and I really enjoyed it. So it's basically about this guy who is losing weight so quickly, and it doesn't matter how many clothes he puts on or how much he starts to eat or anything like that. The weighing scales just stays the same, and it is just going lower and lower. Like, it's never going up, no matter how much he tries, no matter how many things he holds. And his appearance doesn't change either. He doesn't get any skinnier, or, you know, nothing changes. But he doesn't want to be looked at by a doctor. But there's a doctor that he does trust, and even though he doesn't want to be looked at, he just wants to tell someone. So he does tell this doctor about what is going on. But besides that, that he's going through that, he also is in kind of like a neighbor fight, and he's trying to make that right as well. And it's just kind of wholesome and heartwarming, and I really liked it. I really liked it. So that was the last book that I've read this month. So I have already started another book in July, and it's The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. I'm so far really enjoying it. It's, I think, definitely kind of a book that I enjoy, and I am starting to really understand things I like in books and don't like, and I think that's why maybe House of Blight just didn't hit for me. I bought that book kind of at the beginning of my reading journey, and when I started reading, so I've had that one on my physical TBR for a while, and back then I just kind of bought any books that I kind of got recommended on like TikTok, and now I'm definitely more looking into the type of books that I do like, and I think The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea is definitely my kind of book, so I'm really excited to continue with that one. And I hope August is going to be a much better reading month for me, and I hope to find some 5 stars. But anyways, that was my July reading wrap up. I hope you had a better reading month than I did. But thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!